Hi everyone, it's Lisa from budgetequestrian.com, and today I'm going to show you how I made a pair of stirrup covers out of a fleece blanket. They were pretty simple to make, and I'm not a seamstress by any stretch of the imagination, but they were really fun and I want to show you how you can make them. The first thing you'll need is you will need some fleece. The next thing you're going to need is some kind of ribbon or something that you can use to close the stirrup covers. And the most important thing that you're going to need for this is a sewing machine. So the first thing you're going to want to do is measure how much of the fleece you're going to need for your stirrups. So what I did was I actually took a pair of stirrups and I just put it on the fleece blanket, and then I kind of eyeballed it to how big I wanted to cut the piece of fleece material. You can measure it, but like I said in the beginning, I am not a seamstress, so this was the easiest way for me to do it. So I just put my stirrup on the fleece material and just started cutting away. And I folded the edges in just to make sure I was going to have enough room for the stitching. And then I measured what the height would be. So again, I put my stirrup on it and then figured out how much of the fleece material I was going to need to make one stirrup cover. And after I had one piece of material, then I measured and cut a duplicate piece of material to make sure that my stirrup covers were going to match and be the same. And again, I didn't use a measuring tape to measure this off. I just used the first piece of material, and that was basically my pattern for cutting out my second piece of material for the stirrup covers. And once I had the material cut out, then what I did was I folded it so that the pattern was on the inside, because when you're sewing this, you want to sew it basically backwards. You don't want the seams to be on the outside, you want them to be on the inside. So I folded it so that the pattern was on the inside, and then it was a little bit too wide, so I just trimmed off some of the excess material from either side. And then you pretty much just stitch it. So when you're getting ready to sew the stirrup cover, it's pretty easy because you've already folded the material. So the fold part will be the bottom part of your stirrup cover. So basically we're making a bag. So I started at the bottom, like where the fold is, and then I went towards the top of the material. I didn't go all the way to the top because I wanted to leave a little bit of space, probably about 1.5 inches, that I didn't want to stitch, because that's where I'm going to put the ribbon through in the next step. So once you have the first side stitched, then you're going to move to the second side. And if you want to, you can use pins and make sure that it's perfect. I just really wanted to do this, so I didn't use any pins. I didn't use a pattern. I just made my own pattern, but it was really simple to do. But if you do want it to be perfect, I would recommend putting pins. That will keep your material from moving around. Or if you just go slow with your stitching on the sewing machine, then you can kind of control it. But again, it's up to you. If you are a seamstress and you're really good at sewing, you'll probably use pins. But like I said before, I am not a seamstress and I just wanted some stirrup covers, so that's what I did. So now I have both sides of my stirrup cover completed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold down about 1.5 inches on the top. This will be in 2 sides, so 2 sections. So I'm doing 1 section at a time. I'm stitching at the bottom edge of about 1.5 inches down from the material down to the stitching on the side. And this is going to make literally a loop of material so that it's hollow, and that way I can put my ribbon through it. And on the other side, I just wanted to have a nice folded down edge, so I didn't put the ribbon through both sides of the stirrup bag. I just put it through the back. And this was just a fun project to do because I don't like my stirrups always rubbing on my saddle. So I thought this would be an interesting idea to try to see if it worked so that I could protect my saddle and also make some cute little stirrup covers. So now that the bag is pretty much all done, I am flipping it the right side. So this is what it looks like on the outside. The pretty pattern is on the outside. And now I'm going to take my ribbon and then I'm gonna pass it through the back side of my stirrup bag that I made. So I didn't want my ribbon to fray, so I took a lighter and I just burned the ends. That will keep the edges from getting frayed. So an ingenious little tip I have for you to get the ribbon through the fleece. What I did was I took a pen, I put the ribbon in the pen, and then I put the lid back on the pen, and that made it really easy to pass the ribbon all the way through the little tunnel that I made with the fleece material, and it wasn't hard to get it through. So I was pretty proud of that. So now that is my stirrup cover. So now what I want to do is I want to finish the edges because I didn't want to have it bent over so it didn't look finished. So I did go back and stitch the corners of it so that it will look like a complete bag. And then I just did it again on the other side. And this isn't a fancy sewing machine. This is just a sewing machine we got from Walmart. I think it was probably $125, but it's really nice and you can do a lot of stuff with it. So if you're thinking about getting a sewing machine, I don't think you need anything really fancy or expensive. And I just wanted to show you this is what the bag is like when it's done. So the stirrup is in the bag and it's done. So now I want to show you what it's like when you put it on your saddle. There's different ways you can do this, and I'm going to show you 2 ways that I've done it. I leave the stirrup leather out, put the bag on, and then just tie a bow. Or you can wrap the stirrup leather around the stirrup and then put the bag over the stirrup and the stirrup leather, and then you can secure it. It's your choice. You can do whatever you want. I did it backwards. And it was really challenging to get the leathers to cooperate with me. But it's pretty much just like a little pocket, and it will protect your saddle from having the stirrup leathers banging and rocking against it. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'd love to see you again. Thanks for watching.